Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Final last stream of the season, live stream rather. It's looking pretty dim. I've already made my move. I'll probably explain it in a moment, but let's see. Sorry, I'm just quickly reading for leaks and things like that, but hope you guys are doing well. It's saying you've got two free transfers. You've got Kep and Raya. I'd probably play Raya. Consa Guardiola, Bradley, really good defense. Rogers and Sar probably could be two players that you could shift out. You've got Isak, Watkins, we said probably keep all of them, to be honest. Should you transfer Saka for Sar, who do you bench? I think you just bench Rogers in that situation, to be honest. Very, very, very strong team. Jason, top three captaincy. I think Salah's up there. I think Evan Nilsson's up there. I think Saka's up there as well. Those would be my top three. I'd probably go Salah, Saka, Evan Nilsson in that order. Hey, Fran, what is Isak on KDB and Isak? KDB seems like he's benched, right? So KDB is benched. I'll just pin that in the chat. As far as Newcastle, it seems like we have some possibly good news, right? So I think for Newcastle, the news most likely is that Trippier's benched, which is why I have Trippier on my bench. Really, really not looking forward to that because, of course, that makes my team so much worse. And unfortunately, that's forced me to make a defensive transfer as well because I didn't really want to play Nico Williams in this case. I think Newcastle just have such a good game. So yeah, I've kind of been forced to do that. Isak news is really good for people who didn't make an Isak move last week. That's absolutely correct. I think you can just keep him. I don't think it's a 100% guaranteed start, but it seems pretty likely that he is starting. So that's pretty beneficial for a lot of people. Otherwise, yeah, KDB being out, I think as Milan mentioned, that's really good news for Marmoush owner because it just means one less player to take away minutes from Marmoush. Hussein, can you give a special shout out to Sunderland for promotion? Nah, I mean it's been amazing. I think I just saw a lot of Sunderland fans on the way to the championship playoff final yesterday. So congratulations to them. Looking forward to it. I think a friend of mine, Spencer, will be hopefully the correspondent on Planet FPL next season for Sunderland. So let's have a look. All right. I actually forgot, but I do need to manage my draft team quite briefly. So let's just quickly get that sorted. Hopefully, I think it's already in a good position. Looks like it's fine. Just bench Tyreek George here. What else do I have to do? This isn't a great team, but it's not too bad actually. Might just go Verbruggen over at Ederson. And then who else can I sign on the final day? No one interesting, really. All right, so that's that. All right, back to fantasy. Just keep it on my goalkeeper. And back to chat. Let's see. So we've got pick up yourself easy. Hello Fran, hello from Singapore. Nice to see you around. Obviously I'm in London. But yeah, I think I'll probably be going close to Singapore at some point in December. I'll be going back to Hong Kong. Good morning from New York. Hey, Seven. Hope you're doing well. Your current rank is 26, like 26 in the world. That's incredible, man. That is incredible. FPL Tony apparently has posted. He's also saying KDB is benched, so I think that's pretty much confirmed. Do I transfer in Semenyo and bench Rogers, or just transfer in White and bench Diaz instead? I personally prefer the Semenyo transfer. I think Diaz is actually a pretty solid pick for this game week, regardless. And you can never really, I guess, guarantee White's minutes being that good, I suppose. KDB to Bowen or Saka. I think I'd probably go Saka first. Majed, and hope you're doing well. Dr. Yazan Abdulal, hope you're well. Sell KDB for Saka and then Mateta for Evan Nilsson. Yeah, I think that -4 makes sense, my friend. I would do the first one. I think I still prefer Evan Nilsson over Isak. Love from India. Nice to see some Indian viewership. Play Murphy or KDB to Saka for -4. I would just play Murphy, I think. Murphy seems like he's going to start. Yes, of course, in a right wing back position. But it's still a really, really good fixture. And it's not really worth the -4, I would say. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Kind of glad that the season is coming to an end. It's been a pretty busy season in terms of work and sort of managing FPL. And obviously FPL hasn't been going great, so it's kind of been poor for my weekends mentally. But you know, I do trust the process, and I'm looking forward to next season very much so. Hey, Fran, been a nice season for UBL. Congratulations. What do you think is a good chasing free hit draft? Let's actually do that together. Let's do a free hit draft. Because I think it'd be quite fun, you know, just to kind of consider it with everyone else here. I think I'd probably go Raya still on a free hit. It's kind of boring, but why not? But then I guess you're chasing, right? You are chasing. I think I'd go Evan Nilsson. I'd probably go Welbeck. I think I'd probably go Isak as well. I think you'd play all three of them. No questions asked. I don't know if you'd play Clivert. I think it's a weird one. I think Clivert's minutes aren't good enough, so I'm going to take him out. Palmer, I think, could go. Saka could go in the team. Mbemo stays, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to play one more attacker? I think the attacker, it's a tough one because I think I'd probably go for a Newcastle midfielder over an Arsenal midfielder. Only reason being that the Newcastle midfielder minutes feel a little bit better. So in this circumstance, I think the player that I would go for might be Barnes. But then I think Bowen is really solid as well. But you're chasing, right? So the reason why I wouldn't suggest Bowen necessarily is you are chasing. So maybe, you know, it's more beneficial for you to actually chase a little bit and go with Barnes. Maybe you even drop Mbemo as well. Because you are chasing, aren't you? So maybe I'd go Martinelli. This is honestly for people who are genuinely chasing. Because as you can see, a lot of people sold Isak, so the ownership is now low. Welbeck's ownership is low. Evan Nilsson's ownership is low. Saka's ownership is definitely still going to be low because I don't think many people are forcing that move. Martinelli is going to be super low. Barnes is you know, like gigantically low. Captaining Salah, I think, is still going to be a little bit of upside because not everyone's going to captain him. So it's one of those weeks where I think you can say you can get away with it. In this case, and I think I'd play Shar, right? I think to kind of get rid of the high ownership Arsenal players, you just play White. You take the chance. I think you definitely take the chance there. Maybe we should be going for someone like Kirkes potentially. I think the reason why I don't like Raya is because the ownership is quite high. So maybe you go for Pope or maybe you go for Kepa. I do like Kirkes to round out the team though. So I'd probably actually go Kirkes, and this would be my back three. White, Shar, Kirkes. That means I can't go Pope anyways. That means I can't go Raya. So then I go Kepa, I think, in this situation. Am I doing it right? So we got triple Bournemouth, we got triple Newcastle, we got triple Arsenal. That's kind of the core of the team. That's kind of the team that I would go for if I was free hitting. Does that make sense to you? What other picks would you guys go for on a free hit? I think if you're chasing, like, this is the team that I think, you know, you can construct that should have good minutes, that you and maybe Palmer deserves to be here, but you know, that's optional. Like, I think some people don't believe Palmer exists. So, you know, I can totally understand ignoring him, and I think that's fine as well. So I'd probably go for, like, this is the if I am chasing, this is the full free hit team that I would do. Apparently Guardiola's left back, so obviously that's something to pay attention for. Um, you know, but if you're chasing, right? You like Gordon, but the thing is, I think Isak will play, right? So that's kind of my concern. You think you'd go Wan-Bissaka? Wan-Bissaka is quite good, but his ownership might be a bit high, right? I guess Kirk's ownership is quite high too. So yeah, you could argue you could just drop Milos Kirk's here. It's not a bad shout. Um, at the same time, you might argue that you want to back a certain team. Like if you wanted to go like triple Newcastle attack or triple Arsenal defense, something like that. That could make sense. Could I see the first sub message? Yeah, absolutely I can. Protagonist. One final confirmation. Did you mean to tell me Eze to Martinelli? Yeah, I would do Eze to Martinelli 100%. Salah cap 100%. Exactly. I would do both. But yeah, that's going to be kind of the full on chasing free hit template. But that's if you're chasing, right? Otherwise, suddenly picks like Mbomo, like Bowen, like Guardiola even could go back into the free hit if you're just trying to create a team that isn't, chasing extremely hard. Um, so yeah, there's considerations like that you need to pay attention for. Um, your current rank is 26. Do you ran -4 for Saka or Bowen? I mean, who are you transferring out for Saka or Bowen in this case? Do you like Havertz as an option? I don't think he starts personally. Um, Start Munoz or Nico Williams. I'd probably still go for Nico Williams in this situation just because I think Munoz is most likely going to concede multiple goals. Whereas when I look at the Chelsea and Nottingham Forest goal line, it doesn't seem very high. You like um Trossard or Martinelli? I'd still go Martinelli because I think Trossard had a bit of a knock last match, and I think he's most likely going to be subbed for Havertz, right? Hey, Fran, what is the best KDB replacement other than Bowen and Belmo, Salah, and Saka? Probably Martinelli, to be honest. You really do want Bowen, but can only do it if you remove Palmer. If you actually think your defense is fine, I mean, go for it. Yeah, it seems like Isak has walked in, according to Craig Hope. So Craig Hope is a Newcastle journalist, so he's mentioned that Isak has walked in, and he's mentioning he's got a WhatsApp channel as well. Okay, that's a bit excessive. Maybe I should join it. You never know. You never know. Um, he does have a WhatsApp channel, so if anyone is actually paying attention to that WhatsApp channel and suddenly you've got some last second Trippier starts news, let me know. Let me know. Bench concert Milankovic for sure. Start Rogers or Marmoush. I would actually start Marmoush because I think Marmoush is basically 99% going to start. I don't know. No one's actually confirmed it. Your similar rank with you at 189k. Do we need to chase for top 100k? Look, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't think top 100k is within reach for me at all. I just think, yeah, like too much stuff has gone against me to do it. I don't know how many points behind. I'm 33 points behind, so it's completely unrealistic. I think I have a lot of differentials. Like today, I've got Pope, Shar, Clivert, Evan Nilsson that are differentials. Palmer's a differential. The rest of my team is pretty template though. Like Guardiola, Wisa, Watkins, Salah, and Bemo. That's 5 players. That is already part of the core 6, even if you include captaincy, because I think a lot of people are leading Salah captaincy. And let's do a captaincy poll as well. Um, I I mean, I think Saka's up there, to be honest, but I'm gonna put these options as my favorites, and then let me know what you guys are going for. Yeah, so it does seem like Salah is pretty popular. So I guess, once again, I just think this is probably not the day where I bet against the Salah captaincy because I just don't think I have an equivalent option. Like I think Evan Nilsson's a bit far behind compared to Salah as the captain option. So that's that. Your front eight is forwards, Isak, Wisa, Watkins. I think you'd start them all. I'd bench Sar. You was thinking Isak or Sar. No, you have to play Isak over Sar, I think. What two midfield options? You dislike Semenyo Martinelli. I mean, why don't you just make a defensive transfer if you don't like the midfield options? You know, if you don't like Semenyo Martinelli, I don't really know what else to recommend. If you can get towards Bowen, I mean, I would recommend it, but it doesn't seem like you can. On other channels, Bowen higher than Saka in captaincy. That makes sense, actually. That actually makes sense because I think Raptor is going for a Bowen captaincy, and I think it does make a lot of sense. But at the same time, though, I think that's like, if that specific channel is going for Bowen as a captaincy, then that's going to make Bowen the captaincy option, right? On the poll. But I still think, widely, if you're chasing, shouldn't you start Nico Williams over Guardiola? Bit of a tough one because I just think that Nico Williams' chances of keeping a clean sheet are pretty slim. I'm also kind of pitting him against Palmer. So I just think from kind of like, a points maximization aspect of things, I don't really see the value to that move. Like it would give me the most amount of risk, but then actually when I think about like the outcomes, like I am pitting an attacker against a defender and also making my team slightly worse in the process. Am I ready to swallow, buddy? Of course I am, bro. Been swallowing all season. Sar to Bowen or Saliba to White for a -4. I mean, it depends, right? If you actually don't have a third defender, then you have to kind of force that White move. Sar to Bowen, I probably wouldn't do it for a -4 if I'm honest, because you're kind of looking at a move where you're moving into someone who's higher owned and you're spending a -4 to get there, which just feels a little bit poor in terms of your ability to, I guess, achieve the best outcomes possible. 100% you bench Guardiola if you chase. But for what, though? For what? In the hopes that Palmer blanks as well? I might as well bench Palmer then. I just think the city clean sheet odds are extremely high. Like Fulham are absolutely dry as an offense. And then Guardiola's playing left back. Like why? There's not that much upside for me, in my opinion, to actually play Nico over him. That's kind of my opinion. FPL 123, you're chasing. You've got Nobo and no Salah. Saka, yeah, I would definitely go Saka cap in that situation. Isak arrived. That is true. Livermento Guardiola, I definitely play Livermento still. So start Sar, take a -4. Probably start Sar if I'm honest, Rono. Watkins or Mbemo captain, I'd probably still go Mbemo. Your defense is Ait Nuri, Guardiola, Constant, Sells. Or are you talking about should I play Nico Williams over Ait Nuri? Is that your point? Let me know what you think. Sorry, I was responding to someone's question actually, which was this person has, should I do a defense transfer? I think you should do a defense transfer notions vids because I think your defense is a little bit weak. Like I think Sells and Ait Nuri are both quite weak. Like today, if Trippier was fit, I would not be playing Ait Nuri, right? I wouldn't even be considering it. So yeah, can you double City defense? Absolutely. The clean sheet odds for City are very, very strong. So I can't see why you would ignore that possibility. Best defender this week for a -4, probably Fabian Schär, honestly. Kirkus is up there, White is up there. I think those are my three favorite defenders. Even Livermento too. Is it more important to remove a defender like Nico Williams for Kirkus or change Wood? I would change Wood in this circumstance because I think, the goal scoring expectations for Nottingham Forest are really, really poor. And I think actually, if you look seasonally, Nottingham Forest, what is their actual strength as a team? It's defense over attack. So I would definitely give the opportunity. And the same with Chelsea, actually, honestly, recently. Like they have tilted a lot more towards defense if you look at their defense, like their ratings as a team. So from that sort of baseline perspective, I would easily just make a Wood transfer to like Wood to Evan Nilsson, Wood to Welbeck is going to give you two players who, will be extremely low owned, but then also actually have a lot of expected value as well. Yeah. Bradley or Sar, I would probably play Sar. There's no guarantee that Bradley starts, right? I don't think we have any Liverpool leaks, though. It doesn't seem like. Arsenal lineup confirmed. Raya Lewis, Calafiori, Kivior, White, Bryce, Partey, Odegaard, Martinelli, Marino, Saka. And who's confirmed that, sorry? But yeah, it seems like Martinelli is a very, very safe, easy option, especially if Trossard is benched. My expectations as well as Havertz is benched as well, so he's going to play 31 minutes. Need to bring in an attacker and a defender, hoping for Trippier news. I don't think that we're going to get Trippier news that's going to be positive, right? I don't know. Trippier's been spotted. Do I don't know. Do you guys think Trippier could actually start? I don't think it's gonna happen, right? Official lineup is up. What do you mean for Arsenal? There's no official lineup for Arsenal. I mean, we get lineups at the same time, and it's definitely post deadline. Fuck. Sorry. I don't know. I actually don't know. Apologies for that, by the way. Saka and Freze. I think that makes sense. Thinking Martinelli first bench. Wait, what do you mean by Martinelli first bench though? Sorry. Is that a free hit? Fran, may as well take a -8 and go out swinging. Yeah, but if I take a -8, it's even more unlikely that I actually finish in the top 100k, right? Just playing the math. Just playing the math. Pound for pound, Saka, Evan Nilsson for me. I think there's more guarantees with Evan Nilsson, right? If you want to say Saka starts, then he comes off early because you want to start playing players like Moneri, young kids, etc. Like, fine. But Evan Nilsson's most likely to play consistent minutes. Isak starts. Yeah, I think that's been confirmed multiple times. I don't know what to do about the Trippier news. I mean, I think he's just going to be unfit to start, right? Maybe he comes off the bench. I do wish we actually had a genuine, authoritative Newcastle source. That would be nice to have, but we do not have this, or have that, rather. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to do with Trippier. I'll have to just kind of we'll have to just monitor it over the next 30 minutes. MPass87, thank you so much for being a member for the last 15 months. KDB to Bowen for -4. You're ahead by 30 points. Second place doesn't have KDB or Bowen. Yeah, I would just do that for a -4. If all you care about is your mini league, go for it. Because it's more than likely that someone's going to make a similar directional transfer in that league, and it's going to be a defensive move that I think is strong. Hey, Fran, Evan Nilsson or Welbeck? I'd go Evan Nilsson first, I would say. Suggestion, try some background music. Yeah, that's actually a good shout, actually. I will look for some background music. I think in the past, I used to have some background music, but the issue was that it always was copyrighted. So I'll need to find some sort of solution that doesn't create issues, with regards to like taking down my videos, taking down like potential monetization, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, that is a good suggestion, and those are the kind of upgrades that I'm looking to make over in the off season, of course. Who do I play? Elanga or Wisa? I'd probably play Wisa, to be honest. Dream Brother 22, thank you so much for the super chat. KDB to Saka or Bowen, might -4 East. Don't do -4 Isak out. I think Isak's definitely starting. I would not do that move at this point. Evan Nilsson, is a somewhat popular transfer, but Isak, as his ownership is only going to drop because from this week, the transfers have all just been Isak out. I would keep Isak. I would definitely just do a KDB to Saka type move and probably just call it a day there. Um, Good luck to you as well, Derek. Two free transfers thinking Eze to Saka and Saks. I really like those moves. Honestly, I really do like those moves. I would take the like looking at the market odds, right? Arsenal have the best goal scoring odds possible. Their minutes look pretty safe in the sense that I think they're going to play more than 65 minutes, and I think that's good enough. Top 800 at the minute. That's amazing, Dream Brother. Vamos. Cheers for all the tips. Thank you so much for just watching and supporting, even like some of the FPL script videos. Really, really appreciate it, and all the best. Hope you finish in the top 500, just like myself. Like I was outside the top 500 last season too. Final day charge, it worked out. Hopefully it works out for you. Top pick from the Arsenal mids, it's still going to be Saka, right? At the end of the day, you're talking about a penalty taker, etc., etc. But I think from a sort of a chasing point of view, low ownership, Martinelli is probably the one. Chasing 23 points and Bomo to Bowen, I don't think you're going to be able to chase 23 points by going for someone who is to move from someone who's highly owned to someone who's highly owned. You almost have to go for an Arsenal player, a midfielder, or you need to go for a Newcastle midfielder potentially to be able to really chase 23 points down, in my opinion. Start Eze or De Bruyne, I'd probably go Eze because it seems like De Bruyne is benched, and I think that's pretty much been confirmed by every sort of key source we have. The main reason why I'm not moving Trippier right now is because I think none of the leakers from a Newcastle perspective uh I need to just check quickly like what these Newcastle leakers are saying, to be quite honest. Um this is a bit annoying, but let me just check. Who's the actual Newcastle leaker who's originated most of this information? Um okay. Yeah. I think Trippier still is benched. Like no one's responding to like there's not been any additional news with regards to Trippier, right? So yeah, I mean we all knew he was probably in the squad today, but is unfit. So yeah, I'm gonna call it like that. Leave it like that. Evan Nilsson or Bowen? I'd probably go Evan Nilsson, to be quite honest. What are the leaks? KDB benched. That's it, I think. But my assumption is Marmoush starts on that basis. What's your fat differential this week? I'm thinking Trossard or Kluivert. I don't think Trossard's even going to start because it seems like he might have a knock. I don't like Kluivert either because I think his minutes are poor, and I own Kluivert, and I'm telling you this. So I actually prefer Martinelli. I prefer even Semenyo from those two teams, and I actually quite like Barnes, to be honest, just as an outright pick. And NUFC Will 1892 is definitely not an authoritative source. I have him blocked. Like, he's been wrong so many times, and he's even been caught. Like, there are people who have deliberately sent him information, right, that is fake, and he's corroborated that as a leak. So there's absolutely no way that he's authoritative as a source. Zero chance. Isak to Watkins worth the 3 transfer? I don't think it's worth it. Are you saying just because like the second place player in your league has Watkins? I just think I'd still go with Isak. Like, I'd be happy owning Isak over Watkins so easily. Currently on a bench, who's your team is Sells, Areola, Milankovic, Burns, Guardiola, Kiwior, Munoz, Sar, Salah, and Bomo. Rogers, Murphy, Watkins, Isak, Wisa. I'd probably just move. I'd probably try get Munoz out of the team. Improve him. Maybe Milankovic as well, to be honest. Do you have another goalkeeper, though? Oh, you've got Sells, Areola. That's fine. Yeah, I might actually make 2 defensive moves because your midfield's actually not bad at all. Unless you want to go for an Arsenal midfielder as well. Like, you could maybe just keep Munoz. Maybe get out of Milankovic, potentially. And then, maybe do 1 defensive transfer, 1 kind of Saka / Martinelli type move for probably Rogers, because I think Murphy at this point starting is going to be quite a good pick. Hi, DV. Hope you're well. Martin, thank you so much for the super chat. Martin or Saka? I would go Saka, but personally, if you're chasing, maybe Martin makes a bit more sense from an effective ownership point of view. If Isak isn't ruled out, Isak is definitely not ruled out. I think Isak, we have enough sources to basically suggest Isak is going to start, right? Like, if Isak is on the pitch, I think he's ready to play, most likely. Is it better to have Kirkes instead of Konsa, or Semenyo instead of Rogers, or maybe one of my forwards, 3 forwards, Evan Nilsson? Your 3 forwards are Wisa, Watkins, and Isak. Yeah, I'd probably go Kirkes instead of Konsa, I think. It's a tough one, actually, because Konsa's... I'd probably go Semenyo. Actually, Wisa to Evan Nilsson actually is quite a nice move. Ross, thank you so much for the super chat. I think I prefer that one the most. Ross, thank you so much for the super chat. Rank these. You've got 2 free transfers. Isak, Watkins, Saka, Bowen. You mean in terms of players that I would buy first? Like, I would definitely prefer Isak, and I'd definitely prefer Saka. And if it's just 2 out of the 4, any 2 out of the 4, then I would still probably just go Saka and Isak. Vic, thank you so much for the super chat. You've got Raya, Guardiola, Munoz, Conte, Salah, Bowen, Rogers, Isak, Cunha, Watkins. I'd probably do a Cunha move, I quite like your midfield. I think Cunha's minutes aren't really guaranteed necessarily, but then your defense is also quite weak, right? You've got Guardiola and Conte, who I think are strong. The rest of the team's a little bit weaker. Maybe you can actually keep the team as it is if you think Cunha is going to start. But I think, there's 2 options, right? Like, Cunha could be a bit risky, and maybe he's on the bench once again, because you never know. So that kind of means, Evan Nilsson's probably your top move. Or you go out of Munoz, and then if you, on the basis that you think Cunha starts, and then you suddenly do something like a Schär type move, or a Kirkes, or a White. Those 3 I think are pretty much in tandem as a top pick. KDB confirmed bench? Yeah, that is a confirmed benching. Martinelli or Kluivert, Semenyo? I'd probably go Martinelli. I think his minutes are safer. But I mean, I'm sorry, Semenyo's minutes are safer, clearly, but then I think he just has a bit more upside than Semenyo, right? Does that make sense? Is Cunha to Evan Nilsson the best forward transfer? I think so. I think Evan Nilsson is still probably a better pick than Isak this week. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But am I, though? Yeah, I think because Isak's minutes could be like he could still be an early sub, right? Isak, he could still be an early sub. So yeah, I'd probably say Evan Nilsson's the best pick. And then he also gives you what you want in terms of Evan Nilsson. Where's the suit, Fran? I can't suit up, man. It's been such an awful season. I'll suit up when I show up again, properly. Bench Barnes Acuna, definitely bench Cunha. Sell Wood to Welbeck and Trossard to Diaz for -4. I don't really like Diaz for -4 because I think his minutes could be quite shaky still, so I don't really like it. Where are these leaks? There just aren't any leaks, right? 20 minutes left. I can't see it. Too many leaks. I mean, other than Isak has arrived onto the pitch and KDB being benched, we don't really have any leaks, right? Marmoush is starting though. Actually, sorry, that's actually been confirmed, and Guardiola left back has also been confirmed. Sorry about that. I don't know. Is there any updates from the Craig Hope channel? Probably not, right? Okay, I'm going to do one stupid poll. I'm going to end the poll on captaincy as well, because I still think it's probably Salah, Bowen, then Saka in that order. By the way, E7, thank you so much for the super chat. Sar out for Semenyo, Munoz out for Kirkes. I would probably do the Semenyo move, if I'm honest. I think, Munoz still has that attacking threat, which is hugely beneficial. That is nice to sort of bank on. Havertz starts. I can't see Havertz starting. Is anyone saying Havertz is starting? Should I start Trippier over Ran? Right, two options, because I don't really know. Like, what if Newcastle just wants, because think about the amount of times that Newcastle journalists have gotten things wrong, Newcastle leakers have got things wrong, and Trippier is on the pitch, I guess. uh oh well. Yeah, it looks like most people just want me to start Ran as well, so that's fine. Bring in Saka or Bone. I'd probably go Saka still. Would you do Mateta or Cunha to Evan Nilsson? I'd probably do Mateta first, like out of the team. Thoughts on Haaland cap? I don't like it at all. It's just such a mediocre game because of Fulham. Help Fran. Sar and Wood, Saka and Evan Nilsson. I think that's actually really good for -4. Yeah, you're not going to lose your league, and I think it's actually going to improve your team. If you've got one free transfer, you don't know if you want to take a -4, have double force defense, and can bring in Evan Nilsson from Mateta. Got a bench boost. Yeah, I would probably actually just do the Evan Nilsson move. Trippier not starting, it seems like, anyways. Yeah, that seems like the case. Would you start Trippier or Konsa? I'd start Konsa easily. I think Konsa is better than Ryan Knight-Nuri, for example. Just on Palmer Saka, you're chasing your mini league, worth taking -4 to Wood to Welbeck. I think that's actually interesting. I don't think it's worth it, but if you think if the person you're chasing actually has Wood, maybe it is worth it. Fran, please, Shar or White. I've gone Shar personally. It's up to you. Semenyo Martinelli, I'd probably go Martinelli in that case, so I'd go Shar and Martinelli. Start Rogers or Murphy. I'd probably go Murphy because he's confirmed to start. The game is good. It's a home game as well. I'd take my chances there. Yeah. Munoz or Williams, I'd probably go Williams in that case. You've got the same team as me, but Burn instead of Trippier. If you've got Burn over Trippier, you could consider Palmer to Saka. That's one move. The alternative actually is you just simply sell O'Brien to Shar and then actually just play double Newcastle defense plus Guardiola. And I think that's actually a really strong team. Mate, this ball's getting close to 50-50. Getting close to 50-50. Your 13k rank is bad. You want to take a hit if you want to keep rank. Not really. Not really. But I think if you're 13k, you've got such a good chance to move into the top 10k. I just think I'd trust your team, most likely. Like, because most likely if you're 13k right now, you actually have a good team. If you're taking -4 to go for a defensive transfer, I probably wouldn't do that. I actually think you should attack. As in, just let your team go as it is, right? If you have a differential, let that differential hopefully carry you in the end. Hey, Fran, who should I bench? Rogers, Emmanuel Palmer, Marmouche, Evan Nilsson, Wisa. I'd probably bench Rogers in that case, to be honest. Hey, Fran, bench Rogers as a would or Wisa. I'd probably bench Rogers. Trying to trust my team with Cunha and Isak. Isak is great. Honestly, why would you be worried about Isak? I feel like Isak is going to start today. Cunha, I'm not sure. You know, we don't have leaks on Wolves. No one gives us leaks on Wolves, and I couldn't tell you what the best move is, but hopefully it works. Danny Welbeck captain. That could be interesting, to be fair. He's not out of the top 5 in terms of captaincy options. I'm going to close that poll because it's 50-50, so it just means that, you know, I can still make a stupid decision. And it's just a 50-50, right? It's just a coin flip. Mitoma or Welbeck, who's better? Definitely Welbeck, I think, because he's on penalties with João Pedro being out. Bench Murphy, Cunha, or Odegaard. I would bench Cunha. I'd bench Murphy, to be honest. I'd bench Murphy. And I'd risk Cunha starting. Just think Cunha's a better pick than Murphy outright in most cases. Martinelli or Semenyo in, I'd probably go Martinelli. Areola versus Flecken, I'd go Areola. Love the channel. Isak for Wisa? Oh, Isak or Wisa to Evan Nilsson. I'd definitely go Wisa to Evan Nilsson because I think Isak is going to start. Like, I generally think that that's close to guaranteed. It seems like Diaz is starting today, by the way, guys. But that's... like, you have no guarantee that his minutes are good. OP Talent, thanks so much for the super chat. Rogers to Semenyo, bench Sar, or Isak to Evan Nilsson. No, don't do Isak to Evan Nilsson. Shar to Shade, interesting. I'd probably do Rogers to Semenyo in my opinion, bench Shar. I think that's the best move that you have possible. Like, you're just maximizing the most in that case. Start Evan Nilsson or Bowen. I'd probably start Evan Nilsson. I'm shocked that you can bench Bowen though. How are you doing this? Please explain. How are you able to bench Bowen? Once again, I'm on the hunt for Trippier news, so let's just have a look. I mean, most people are still saying Trippier's benched, so should leave it like that. I mean, everyone's been saying he's back on the bench, so I'll just leave it like that. I will just leave it like that. Yeah, fine. And to be fair, there's a couple people I'm monitoring on the back of the news today, right? Like, for example, there are some people who have posted tweets of the teams that I will monitor going forwards, right? Like, there's a Richie Simpson guy who posted the lineup really, really early today with the back 5, which is why I moved into Shar. So we'll just see what happens. Hey, Fran, Captain Haaland or sell for Salah? I wouldn't De Bruyne. I mean, I'd probably just sell De Bruyne, my friend, but I wouldn't necessarily Captain Haaland. It is a tough choice just because, like, you know, I know at the end of the day is playing against 2 of my attackers. So, like, if I can find any justification to bench him, I would. It's just that Nico Williams just feels like such a poor shout, and he's also against one of my attackers. So it's like I'm not even benefiting much, right, in that kind of circumstance. So yeah, it do be like that sometimes. Murphy or Barnes? I'd definitely go Barnes. Because if Murphy's gonna play in a back five, he's gonna be in a much worse position, average wise compared to, let's say, Barnes, who's playing a little bit more advanced. Thoughts on Calafiori's differential? He could be interesting, but I mean, no guarantees that he even makes it to 60 minutes, right? This guy is so unfit. Why do I hate Haaland cap? Who has him as high predicted though? I'm kind of curious. Because if you look at the market goal scoring tally, it's not very high. If I look at Rob T's, for example, like kind of predicted goal scoring odds, they're not very high either for Haaland. Like let's have a look at all the top players, right? Haaland is like third, but Isak is ahead of him. Um, Welbeck is right there. Evan Nilsson's right there, and that's just goal scoring, right? So for example, like things like assists factor in a little bit as well. There are midfielders close to Haaland, so that just means that they're better. Like Saka, for example, has similar projected goals to Haaland, which just means you'd actually much rather have someone like Saka, right? Because he's a midfielder. He's got the clean sheet potential. He's got the goal scoring potential as well for additional points. And Salah as well is ahead of him. Isak is ahead of him. So, yeah, I don't love Haaland that much as a pick for captaincy. Hub hits Haaland high. I'm sure they do have Haaland high, but I'm sure that's the thing. Like, so is Salah, right? Other things like that. So, I'm not saying Haaland's a bad pick. It's just that if you own him, I think that's fine. You can consider it. But then if you're moving into him, that's a little bit worse. What's good, Fran? Should I do as a Semenyo or is any other better transfers? I mean, I think some people might, want to look at their team and just say, actually, I want to do a defender transfer instead. Because Eze seems like a pretty solid pick regardless. But yeah, I think generally speaking, Eze towards another midfielder is going to be a really strong pick. Yeah, Luis Diaz starts is probably the latest kind of leak that we have. Um, how confident are we on Saka cap? I mean, I'm confident on Saka starting. On captaincy, I actually prefer Salah, right? At the end of the day, he gives you the maximum minutes guarantees. Jackson Tucker, thank you so much for the super chat. -4 for Sar to Semenyo, Marmoush to Evan Nilsson. Marmoush is going to start, so I would actually probably play Marmoush, and then I would probably do the Semenyo move. I don't think you necessarily need to do a -4, so I would just do the one move. What's good, Fran? Should I do as a Semenyo? Yeah, I would do Semenyo. Start Nico or bring in Livra / Shar for -4. I'd probably start Nico, if I'm honest. I know you're hoping for a Palmer hole, but the -4 probably I wouldn't stretch towards doing. Yeah, kind of what I would say on that one. Who is must have in defense? I don't think there's any must haves, but Kirkes, White, Shar all seem like really 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 stellar picks. So take from that what you will. I'm still considering that Trippier thing. Hey, Fran, bye, Fran. TAA starts. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who's saying TAA starts? That could be a very good pick, though. That could be a very good pick. That could actually be a very good pick defensively. Whoa. Let me have a look. Are you saying Asim says that? Who is saying TAA starts? I'm not seeing it. Welbeck or Evan Nilsson? I'd probably still go for Evan Nilsson first. Bradley starts, we're pretty sure. Yeah, we did get Diaz late. That's correct. Saka and Cunha to Evan Nilsson for -4. Start trips. Dream Brother 22. It's tempting. It's tempting. Cunha to Evan Nilsson for -4. I mean, if you think that's going to send you to the top 500, I'd do it. Especially if you're like, right now, I'm still uncertain on Cunha's minutes. So maybe, yeah, that's the right play, actually. Thank you so much, John Ross. I really appreciate that. And thank you guys, honestly, all season long for listening to the content, watching the content. Really, really do appreciate the support. Captain Salah's the menu. I'd go Salah. I'm going to have to put you in timeout, though. Palmer to Bowen or Saka. I'd probably do Saka first. Just wanted to just reduce the amount of spam in chat so people can get their messages in. KDB to Salah, Khaled says, or Beto to Evan Nilsson. I quite like Beto to Evan Nilsson. I know KDB's out, so I'd do KDB to Saka. Cunha leak, there's no Cunha leak at all. Not that I can see, at least. I mean, we're 3 minutes out. I don't think there's enough leaks. Bruno does start. I mean, was anyone doubting that? I guess. But he does start. Yeah, I have to make a decision on this stupid thing. I do not know. Is 45 minutes versus Everton good enough to get a free kick goal? Maybe a set piece assist? Something to think about. But yeah, I think he's on bench, so I'm just going to have to play it as it is. Sad times, sad times. I think it's just the right thing to do. Sadly. Any Cunha leaks? Oh my god, we got 40 seconds. Please make your moves. Thanks, Fran, for great content. Next year will be better. I hope so. And I'm looking forward to next season, of course. Bench Cunha, Rogers, Martin. I'd definitely bench Cunha first because I just think you can't guarantee Cunha's minutes. You can always guarantee Rogers' minutes. On the Trippier front. Oh man, 25 seconds to make a stupid move. 25 seconds. I think he's just gonna play. It's down. Deadline. YOLO. Let's see if that works. I hope that works. Okay, we've done the Trippier move. Whatever. I don't really care anymore at this point. I need my two attackers from Brentford to do something. So if Trippier can do something in 10 minutes of football, so be it. I don't care anymore. That's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful Gameweek 38. We did manage to sneak in that Trippier move. If it's stupid, we won't talk about it, right? We'll talk about it next season. Otherwise, yeah. Take care. Goodbye. I'll see you guys soon. Best of luck. I'm probably heading out to a couple of meetups today. So unfortunately, no watch along with that sort of thing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting the content this year. We're definitely going to come at it a little bit stronger with the preseason this year and hoping for a little bit of a better outcome season. But, when I reflect on like the last few years of FPL, I think I've had 2 really lucky seasons before this. So, let this be my unlucky season, hopefully. And hopefully I can pull things back next year. But I hope the content has been, supportive. I think the idea of content is not to just, share a team to copy, but to actually provide general advice for people in different positions and different ranks and with different teams. And the way FPL works is you only have one team. You basically you're like a tree branch, right? You follow the tree branch. It can go a couple directions, but you're already quite limited by just that initial branch that you pick. And sometimes, like at a different point in the season, you suddenly follow a branch that is awful. And I feel like that's kind of been my season. But most of the time, I try to make moves, guided by data, etc. And there's a lot of my friends who've done the exact same thing, I suppose, with much better results. Some even with much worse results. I'll probably do a video actually with one of the legendary managers of all time, with Marco from Finland. He's having a really tough season this year. He's probably just about to go to finish top 1 million after, I don't know, 10 seasons straight of top 25K finishes and multiple sort of 2-3 digit finishes. So yeah, we'll have a chat on that. But I hope you guys sincerely have the best final week of the season. Hope you guys have some great green arrows. And yeah, I am definitely a little bit energized that it's over because I do want it to be over. But I'm very happy that I was able to provide content for you guys all season long. So thank you guys once again. Thank you, B Rich, once again for the support with the super chat as well. Thank you, Dr. Yazan Abdulal, as well. And I'm sorry for missing some of your super chats as well. I really do apologize about that. It's just been a really hectic time, pretty rough as well. But as I said, take care. Goodbye. I'll see you guys soon, and all the best.